everybody. It's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, with another 10ish-minute review. Okay, so this time, based on the recommendations on my last viewer poll or community poll, whatever you want to call it, like 8 of you in a row said I should watch this film. So I moved things around. So I moved it up one. So I am reviewing today Sarpatta Parambarai. Some Sarpatta Parambarai. Now, it showed up two different titles. The other one was Sarpatta Paramparas. I don't know which one is right. I think the first one is Parambarai, and that's from 2021, a boxing film. So that's what I'm going to review. Okay, it's directed by uh, P.A. Ranjith. I didn't think his initials was P.A. I might have, that might be a typo. I'm not sure. So let me just check here because I want to give credit where credit is due, like I always do. And it is indeed P.A. Ranjith. It stars, now this is a Tamil film. And I have noticed, and I would like an explanation on this. And I believe Tamil is southern India, like Malayalam. Is that right? All the actors, well, not all, most of them have a single name. So why is that exclusive to like the Tamil and the Malayalam films? No surnames. It stars Arya, uh, Parupathy, John Kokken, Shabeer, Kallarakkal, who I really liked in this. He was Dancing Rose, and John Vijay. Now, um, this film is set in 1975 to 1977, which is interesting because as the movie's going on, I'm trying to figure out what era they are in. And there's no reference to the year, at least none that I could see. So when I did the research and found out it was 75 to 77, it made sense, but there was nothing to indicate that. The cars, I mean, the things I've seen in these Indian movies, um, cars are old. You don't have modern cars, so that sometimes doesn't date the film. Not so much now, but a lot of the older movies. So that was kind of interesting. It's also dedicated to Muhammad Ali, and there's a lot of Muhammad Ali Easter eggs throughout this film. So the story, the story is Rocky, the Karate Kid, Sultan. I mean, it's not a new story. I mean, they've been making this film since the birth of film. Um, Obviously the location made it very different. The clan structure made it very different. But this is the story of an underdog who becomes a fighter and has to overcome adversity, and then in the end comes out on top. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Um, so it's the story I will give. I mean, it's not a new story, but it's a story that the story of the underdog that I love. So I'm going to give the story a three. And well, I'm not going to do the plot. I've gotten away from doing that, but there were some really interesting things when he first walks into the first fight. He's not there to fight. He's there only to watch because his mother doesn't want him to fight because his father, the lead character, excuse me, Cabalan, Cabalan. His father died. He was a fighter, but he was also a thug, a gangster. He got he got stabbed. So his mother doesn't want him to have anything to do with boxing. But that scene, and I don't know in Tamil productions how much green screen they use or CGI, but that opening shot when he's walking down to the ring and you see the ring in the middle and you see all these people surrounding the ring was pretty spectacular. So I thought that was wonderful. Now the whole clan thing I didn't understand. So Sarpada was the clan that Cabalan eventually fights for, and they're fighting against another clan. Now, is it within the same village? Is it a different village? I'm very confused on that. Now, again, my references, my Easter eggs there. There was a guy, I don't know what his name was. He wore gold chains, but he looked a lot like Don King, the boxing promoter. If you know who that is, I'll throw up a picture of him. But this guy looked like him kind of. He was kind of dressed the same way. There's a lot of training montages in this film. In the first one, they pick the coach, this revered coach who was also a boxer, picks someone to fight the champion other than his son, which causes problems. So the first training montage is they call him he's a cub because he's a rookie. They don't think he should be in the same ring. They show that training montage, which is pretty good. Needless to say, he gets his hat handed to him by Venbuli, big guy. By the way, these guys, I don't know how much working out they did, but these guys, and especially Tabalan, huge. I mean, big guy, not just like Hrithik Roshan rippling muscles. I mean, this guy was big. He looked like he'd do a lot of damage. Now, the second, through circumstances, Cabalon finally gets to fight. So they do the second training montage with him. Again, harkening back to Rocky. Dun, 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 dun. So I like that. And then now, so again, the story I give it three. The performances, I really like the performances, especially the lead character, um, Arya. He was very good. Now there were things that I wasn't crazy about in this film, um, for the performances, because the thing, and again, maybe it's more Malayalam than Tamil, but I always found Tamil films, like compared to the Hindi films, Bollywood, a lot more grounded. The performances weren't really grounded in this film. Some of them were, but most weren't. A little over the top. The women, especially throughout this film, and I don't want to be sexist, but they were shrews. They were, maybe this is a guy's picture. I don't know. I mean, they turn around at the end, but they're always screaming. The mother's always hitting the son, just shrieking all the time. The wife, he eventually gets married. She's doing the same thing. So, the performances were okay, but the coach I really thought was great. I actually thought the guy who played Van Bulli was really good. And also Dancing Rose, Shabeer Kallarakkal, he was great. He goes in the ring and he's doing flips and he's got a little Superman curl going. Uh, really excellent. So I'll give the performances a three. Also, they were good. They weren't great, but they were good. Again, going back to the lead, who obviously in a film like this, the lead's got to be strong, and he definitely was. They do this now. The music, again, going back to the how grounded these films are, there are no extraneous musical numbers. Like all of a sudden they're just going to break out into a song. They don't do that in this film. There are two musical numbers. One is after he wins the first fight against Dancing Rose, and they're all celebrating. The second is his wedding. And what was funny about this, or what I really liked about this, about the two. Now the score, the musical, the background music was great. Loved it. Fit the movie. The fight scenes, the music was great. Added to the fight scenes, the highs and the lows. But the two music numbers I really liked, and the reason I liked them, they weren't like a make believe thing that just all of a sudden happens. Not that I'm against that. I'm not. But in this film, it looks like real people celebrating. Like the numbers weren't extremely choreographed and sharp. It was like if real people did this, this is what it would look like. At one point, they show like six guys with boxing gloves doing a little dance routine. But then they do this funny thing that his wedding night, he's all ready, because it's his wedding night. She looks all nervous, and she approaches him. He's in the bed, and she approaches him, softly, kind of meekly. All of a sudden, she steps back and she starts doing this wacky dance. So she's like, now they show him, and he's like, "What is this?" And she's getting all, look at this. Is you're in for a treat tonight. And then she jumps on him, and then they cut. I thought that was funny. I laughed my ass off when I saw that. So I'm going to give the music a 4. I love the way they used the two musical numbers they had, and the background score was excellent. Now, overall, I have to give it overall a 3. And based on your recommendations, a lot of you loved this film. And there were aspects about it that I loved. The boxing scenes were fantastic. I mean, really, really well done. You got the sense of the power of the punches, the size of these guys, and they're going toe to toe. So I thought that was excellent. And obviously, the tribute. There's a scene towards the end when he wins, where he's standing over the champion that he just beat, and he's doing that pose with the glove across his body, with the Venbuli on the ground, and that is the Muhammad Ali. I think I hope I get this right. The Muhammad Ali over Joe Frazier, that famous picture, and I'll put that picture up. They copied that, which I thought was great. That what a tribute to Muhammad Ali. Great fight. I met him, by the way, in Las Vegas at a convention. He wasn't doing well when I saw him, but it was still pretty cool to see him. But I did have problems with this film, and my biggest problems I already explained it. The women, uh, I just thought were like cardboard cutouts of women. They were just there to antagonize the lead, Cabalon. Up until the end, where actually the mother and the wife are the ones that get him to fight again. He doesn't want to fight anymore. They get him to fight, and they're there at the end when he wins the championship. They're right there by the ring. This is the mother who didn't want him to go. My biggest problem with the film was it was too long. Now, you guys are going to say, well, these movies are always long. I get it. And there are times when the length doesn't matter to me, but this film, and I'll tell you where I think it was the longest is when he loses the fight because there's a riot and they humiliate him. They rip his shorts off. He's naked on the thing. They're throwing chairs at him. Once that happens, and they end up going to jail. And that's another thing I didn't understand. The whole government aspect. There was a scene where the coach, his mentor, his coach, goes to jail, and you never really know why. And well, maybe you do, but I didn't understand it. And he ends up going to jail too for something he did with the guy who fixed the fight that he lost, and he goes to jail for 6 months. So that's why the time really jumps around in this film. And the only way you know time is going is because he grows a beard and he gets fat. And that was the other problem I had with this film. This guy is a beast. And for 75% of the film, he is just jacked. And the scenes where he was giving up on fighting, he gets fat. Well, you could tell. Well, at least I think you never saw him without a shirt, so it looked phony to me. It looked like they just padded him because then they do this training montage when he's getting back. It looked like something out of the Karate Kid. He meets a fisherman because his coach won't coach him, and he meets a fisherman, and they're on the beach. They're doing all kinds of strange kind of training things, but then you see the stomach go down. But that whole spiral that he went down, I thought was way too long because he was such a good, hopeful, nice character, and then once he loses that fight, he goes down this spiral. And I get why you have to have it in there, but it was just too long before they got back to the fight, and they could have cut I probably 30 minutes off it, and it would have made for me anyway, it would have made this a much better film. For me, it's a difference between a 3 and a 4 because I'm giving it a 3 because I really did I liked the fight scenes, I liked the lead actor, I liked the tributes to Muhammad Ali. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah, overall, I give this movie a 3. If you haven't seen it and you like boxing films, check it out. And listen, in the comment section, if you can give me an idea on what was going on with the government, because I just didn't understand that, and they didn't do a lot of yeah, it said the ruling party got arrested after the fight, including the coach. And okay, I didn't get it. Who ruling party of who, and why did the coach get arrested? They never maybe I missed it. I just never understood why he got arrested. It didn't make any sense. But anyway, it didn't take away from my overall enjoyment of the film. Like I said, a three is pretty good, and I appreciate the recommendation of this, and I'd like to see it on the film with this guy Arya. He was very good in this. So that's my 10ish minute review on that. Okay, next episode, I'm going to do a little change of pace. I was thinking about this the other day. I often go on YouTube and look up certain um, Bollywood musicals, musical numbers from these films. And recently, I saw Dil Chaka. I can't even remember the name of it now. Now I'm drawing a blank. It's the one I did when they were on the cruise ship, and I'll talk about it more when I do this. And that musical number at the end just blew me away, and I've been playing it a lot because not only do I like the song, but I love the way they shot that last scene in the credits. What is it? Dahakni Do with Priya Chopra. Um, so I'm gonna do the next episode. I'm gonna pick maybe six or seven songs that I just love from all the Indian movies that I've seen over the last couple of years, and just give you my thoughts on why I liked each one of them. Now I can only show 30 seconds of them because you get a copyright hit, but hey, that's okay. So that's going to be the next episode, and then I'm going to do Johnny Gadar. That's another one that a bunch of you have recommended. So I'm going to take a look at that too. So listen, as always, I appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you guys taking part in the community polls that we do. You keep watching. I'm going to keep pumping these out. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon with another 10ish minute review.